Yeah, I'm really ugly today.
How you doing, Rick?
Good. I thought I'm having some trouble getting on the road. I was supposed to be gone 3 hours ago. I was going to do this in my truck, but I'm still here at the house. So how are you?
We're very, very good, Rick. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, any of you who aren't aware, this is Mr. Rick Rowberry. He's our master distributor from the USA. He's going to be our special guest at our events at the end of this month. And if you haven't seen Rick before, guys, you absolutely must be there. Rick, I'm going to leave you to explain to people why these events are just so important for them.
Well, I mean, I built my life on big events. I mean, anybody who's anybody in this business doesn't miss the events. So I always know who's going to be here a year from now. It's the ones who are with me today, you know. So people can decide. There's 100 excuses you can make, but what excuses is there for not accumulating wealth, right? So it's got to be a pretty important thing, like your death probably, or a funeral of your own. You know, probably would be the best excuse. You know, big events, I do them all over the world. I'm headed out now. I go to France first, and then I go to Switzerland, and then I come to the UK with you guys and Portugal. I mean, if it wasn't important, if these big events were not important, I wouldn't travel 20 or 30 hours each way to try to be there for them, you know, when somebody can't even drive 1 or 2 hours away because there's some kind of an excuse. So I understand that, you know, and a lot of people say to me, Rick, talk to people about, you know, how far you come to be there and why they shouldn't be there. And, you know, I'm just not really going to do that because people are going to do what they're going to do. One thing I realized, Roger, a long time ago, is that winners do what winners do, and the rest of them always lose. It's just that simple. So when there's a big event, when somebody like me comes into town, I don't come into town just because I need something to do. I come into town to change your life. And I can do that. I know exactly what to do, exactly how to have success in this business, and I can tell you exactly what to do. And so if you want to know that, you know, I'm there to serve and to help. Now, I'm not here for the money. I'm here to help. And so, you know, if I can do that in any way, and then you need to be there. So I think it's going to be an amazing event. I'm really excited about it. UK is always my favorite place because I can speak English and get away with it. Not proper English, of course, according to you guys, but I still we can still communicate and understand each other. So I'm really, really excited to get over there. You know, I don't get over there as much as I used to get over there, but things are blowing up all over the world, you know, and Latin America is going crazy right now. You know, we've got 1,000, 2,000 people in every meeting everywhere we go down there. They build big meetings, so it's a little different than the rest of the world, but everywhere we go, things are really good right now. The compensation plan is dialed in, which takes time for that to cure. The products, which are all brand new pathways, that takes time for those things to really get to where they need to be. They're there now. Our payroll just for traders around the world is somebody's dream annual income. You know, I mean, it's amazing how much a month we pay to have these kind of traders. And now with all of the different channels and the Alert One, and I never thought we'd ever get to a place where we had so many different things to offer people that there's not one person on this earth that I don't think it wouldn't benefit if they're looking to improve their financial situation. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about everything that's going on right now. You know, I'm on a lot of these type of Zoom calls right now. They're increasing in frequency and increasing in size all over the world. And so there's some really good signs for Kuvera. So what you have to decide is, you know, are you part of that? Are you going to be part of it? You know, you're going to be here 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now. When I go out there, I'm asking the question, you know, raise your hand if you're going to be here 5 years from now. And, you know, almost everybody raises their hand, and yet there'll be less than 10 or 20% of them that will really be there. Why is that? Why does everybody think they're going to be there? And why are some there and some not? And so what I do after I ask that question is they raise their hand, and the first thing I say back to them, I says, no, you're not. Let me tell you why. And so I give them all the reasons of things that they're going to do that will sabotage their business and prevent them from being here 3 to 5 years from now. And so that's not a negative side. What it is it's an education. Because a lot of times people make decisions, daily decisions, okay, that are taking them down the wrong path. And that's a path to losing, to not being successful in the business. And there's others that do the things every day that you need to be successful. We have two sides of our brain. I talk about this a lot, the logical and emotional side of our brain. The emotional side of our brain has a tendency to run our lives because we're emotional creatures. If you allow that to happen, you'll probably lose in most everything you do because you knee-jerk reactions. You know, you're afraid, fear, all those things are created in the emotional side of the brain. The logical side of the brain says, you know, 2 + 2 is 4. The emotional side of the brain is, I'm not sure if that's 4. And so what you do is you've got to learn to transition in business away from the emotional daily ups and downs that business does have in it, okay, to a logical, steady work ethic. And that work ethic has to be daily income producing activity. There's nobody I know that leaves the business that doesn't do something every day that's income producing. Another thing too is communication. Now, I was talking with the French team the other day. There was, I don't know, 1,000, 1,200 people on some Zoom. And, they're going to have 5,000 people at their meeting, coming up on this week. And the question is why is it that it's so hard to go from 5,000 people in a meeting to 10,000 people in a meeting, as opposed to 50 people in a meeting to 100 people in a meeting? What is it that causes that difficulty? Well, what it is comfort. All of a sudden you get some rank, you start making some money, you start having some degree of success, and pretty soon you think you've arrived. Well, the fact is you haven't arrived for a long, 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 long time. I haven't even arrived. The truth is if you're not growing, if you're not exploding, okay, you're dying. There's nothing in the middle. They're not sustaining. There's nothing more agonizing to me when people call me up and say, man, we're just having this nice, slow, steady growth. Nice, slow, steady growth. You know what that looks like on a chart? It looks like this. This is nice, slow, steady growth, okay? You have to be exploding. You got to have excitement. You got to have banner months. You got to be growing 20% plus per month. You have to have that, okay? If you don't do that, you're going to have a month that's going to absolutely terminate your relationship with Kuvera. And people don't know that till it happens. But I want to talk a little bit about communication. Communication is another reason. The reason that big organizations or what we call cured organizations or aged organizations or organizations that have been around for a while to get past the honeymoon stage is that the communication is not correct. The communication dies, okay? There's nobody that's going to leave you if you call them and give them a positive message every day. Now think about that for a minute. Okay, how many people do you want to be in your business 3 to 5 years from now? That's how many people need a phone call every day for the rest of your business relationship with them with a positive message that you're giving them. See, this comes back to the day one concept, guys. Day one is nothing more than waking up and changing the natural human tendency to be negative, because the thing you think about first in the morning when you wake up is the thing that you fear the most. Now think about that. Is that not true? The thing that you fear the most is when you open your eyes, the thing that you're thinking about. And so what happens is fear is a negative. Fear is the opposite of hope. The enemy of hope is the enemy of action, of positive action. When you have fear, you become completely inactive. You become completely paralyzed, okay? And so what you've got to do is you've got to start off every day with a very, very positive first thought. Or in the first hour that you're awake, if you don't have a positive first thought, that day is wasted, okay, in terms of accomplishing anything real. And so how important is it for you? What if I called every one of you on this call? I called you every day for the next 3 years, every single day, and I gave you some absolutely incredibly positive message and some techniques, some things I found out, some information I found out, and make myself available to be able to work with you today. Well, how much difference would that make in your business if I did that with every one of you on this phone call today for the next 3 to 5 years? Guarantee you'll be successful. Guaranteed you'll be successful. So if that's how it is, if that's really all it takes, okay, to be successful in this business, then you know what the objective is. You know what you need to do. You don't need to do more training. Training is a waste of time most of the time. I mean, I'm sorry, guys, but training is the thing that people do that can't make money. They train, okay? You either build or you train in this industry. You know, the guys that are on top of like the GoPros and these other things, why do you think they're doing all those training programs? It's because the guys can't build, okay? I know them. They can't build, so they train. So they get paid for training people, right? So they take the information from all the guys that are out there building and take it, steal it from them, teach it to other people and get paid for it. That's what trainers do. Now, is training important? Of course it is. But that should be about 10% of your day. 90% of your day should be spent on income producing activity. There's only one thing you got to do. One thing. You'll stay in the business. You'll be here 3 to 5 years from now. It is called invitations. Inviting someone new to view the message at Kuvera and following up. That's it. That's the only thing we get paid for. Everything else is just making yourself feel good, making yourself feel like you're doing something so you don't have to do the hard thing, and that's go find somebody to invite to the message, right? You guys know it's true. You know I'm telling you the truth right now. Brooks, you've been around the game for a long time like I have. I mean, this has got to be ringing in your head, right? This is absolutely fact, guys. And I want you to be here 3 to 5 years from now. Let me tell you, the most saddening thing for me is when I developed this incredible, wonderful, beautiful relationship with somebody, and I've seen hope in their eyes. I've seen this light shining, and all of a sudden that light starts to dim, and all of a sudden I never hear from them again. That's the saddest thing that ever happens to me in the business. It's got nothing to do with me. I don't work for rank anyway. I don't have rank. I've never cared for rank, didn't want rank. I work where I'm needed. But whether it be for, whatever my personal objectives are here, that's the thing that hurts me the most. The thing that disappoints me the most is that people give up on themselves before I do, before I give up on them. And so I've always said winners do what winners do. We were at the ANMP event in Dallas, Texas last month, or like 2-3 weeks ago. That's the Association of Network Marketing Professionals. It's my favorite one. I love it. It's much better than GoPro, in my opinion. The bigger people are at this one. The biggest people are not at GoPros. They're the ANMP. And Anthony got to talk on stage as one of the young millennials, okay? And when he got up on stage and talked, guys, I mean, it just resonated that, what he was talking about, that he'd been well mentored and well trained, because the things that come out of his mouth was just like myself and other mentors were speaking out of his mouth, okay? And the other millennials were in the audience, and everybody's walking, man, that guy is the most unbelievable, amazing person that I've ever met in my life. You know what he's talking about? Really simple little things, just like I'm talking about right now. Day one, stay the course, never quit. Daily income producing activity. The things that make sense to people are always the simple things, not the complicated things. But see, at these events, you can go there and you can get good information, but see, you've got to have an action plan, because you said it, attitude and action, Rod. You said attitude and action. Okay, let me add something to that. Okay, it's called humility. See, there's two things that my great mentors, my number one mentor in my life, Art Williams, was a high school football coach who became a billionaire in 12 years. And I was with him almost for 11 years of that time. And he told me, Rick, there's only two things that you have to be a great leader. He says, there's a lot of good leaders. He says, but to be a great leader, number one, you got to have two things going. You got to have two things going for you. You've got to be hungry and you got to be humble. And I thought, well, I'm always hungry. I mean, just look at my belly, I'm hungry. And he said, no, that's not it. He says, you got to be hungry. He says, no matter what level you're at of success in your life, no matter how comfortable you feel like you are right now, you got to be hungry for more. You got to be hungry for more. All right. And then as you're accomplishing it and you're doing good and you're doing better than the other people around you, you've got to have humility. You got to be humble. Nobody likes to follow an arrogant blowhard, right? But people that are producing, allow your works to do the talking for you instead of your lips. You go out there, you perform, you work hard, and I'll tell you what, you will gain the respect of your peers without talking. The more you talk about it, the less respect you're going to get. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? So whenever I hear blowhards at some of these ANMP events or GoPro events going on and on and on about how great they're doing, how good they're doing, I know they're going broke. Okay, they're on the decline in the business. That's why they feel like they've got to do that, right? I love spending my time talking about other stories, about talking about the company, about talking about concepts of winning, right? That's what I want to spend time on. I don't want to spend time on Rick Rowberry. I get enough of that from you guys just introducing me. I just want people to know who I am so that they trust me with the information they're receiving. It's really simple for me. I don't care to be on stage, but I find myself on stage all the time. And so I go where I'm needed, and I do what I need to do. 3 to 5 years, you need to make sure that you be here. The only way that you'll be here is if today, tomorrow, and the next day, every single day, you do something that is income producing. And remember, there's only one thing that's income producing, right? That's inviting a new person to view what we do. That's it. I also believe that your message should be automated. I don't think you should be given presentations, okay? I think presentations are the biggest waste of time that we have in this business. The content of the presentation, see? When you have something that you have to say over and over and over and over, you can never build fast. As a matter of fact, by the time you recruit on the front end, more people have dumped out the back end. You can't understand why you're not growing. Isn't that amazing, right? Because you're spending 2 hours giving a presentation and 3 hours trying to tell them how great you are, and another 2 hours telling them how you know they're going to be good at it. You should never be saying any of those things. Never tell anybody they're going to be good at it. Never tell anybody you know they're going to love it, right? Because then they can't say no if they look at the message and they don't like it. So income producing activity, action is always the plan. Action, attitude and action. Attitude comes from day one. Remember that. You don't have an attitude unless you have a positive day one. What I would do is, if I was you, going back to what I was talking about communication just a minute ago, especially when you're in a seasoned organization, like the UK organization has been around with me for a while, some of you leaders, okay? You have to have a dynamic restart right now. For you, you can't hope that somebody else is going to go do the hard things. You got to start today. You got to be hungry, remember? And you got to be hungry and humble at the same time. So if you're hungry enough, then you're going to restart today, right? If you're making $5,000 a month, you should be thinking $50,000 a month, right? Even though $5,000 a month may cover your bills, that's not enough. That's not going to give you any dreams. That's just exchanging one job for another one. That's it. And a volatile one at that, our business is that way. So communication, this is what I challenge you to do, is that I did this in my financial service days. In my 20s, for 11 years, I developed 22 offices I opened across the United States. And I had about 10,000 clients or so during those years that I was able to watch with their money. But I built a massive sales organization throughout the United States at that time. And it was really funny because, we try everything. I was just a young guy. I mean, I experimented. I did this, I did that. The great thing is that I had Art Williams. I had a great mentor that kind of continued to keep me on track. Okay. And that's why I was successful there. But I remember I thought, communication is really the key. And I came up with this one day and I just started calling people, and I would call my key guys every single day, 5 or 10 of them. I call them every single day, right? I give them a positive message, say, let's be accountable to each other for the day. Let's check back later and see how we do. And that's how we did our business. I blew it up with just that alone, just with communication. But communication, let's say that each one of you decide that you have 5. Okay, let's just take 5. I always said 10, but let's just say 5. 5 people every day. You've got them up on a wall. You've got a calendar, right? Or you've got their name. I used to have their name right here, and I'd have every day of the month out behind it. And I would check a box or X a box when I called them. And if I had 5, I used to have 10 on there, right? Sometimes I go to 12 or 15 if I could do it every day. Every morning, I'd make a call to those people. And the problem that most weak leaders do is when they call those people up, you know what they do? They want to find out what those people are doing to help them. Don't they? The reason that they're calling those people is to find out how they're doing so that I can do better. Wrong. It's weak leadership. Great leadership is you develop the message for the morning, a positive, powerful message that if you give that to somebody, they're going to have an unbelievable day one experience, okay? They're going to go out throughout the day with power, posture, and presence, and every time they open their mouth, somebody's going to hear what they say. And if they say that message enough, eventually they'll get to the person who's waiting for that message. It's pretty simple business. Pretty simple business. And so you call 5 people every single day. If you got to put them up on a wall, check it off to make sure you're not missing anybody every day. Every day, that's where you start. Because you know what happens when you call them with a positive message? You get the positive message, right? You are the positive person, right? You have developed a positive message because you know you're a leader. You have to be positive. You force yourself into a great day one experience, and then you infect everybody else in your organization with that. How do you do that? You call 5 people every single day with a positive message, not what are you doing? Are you going to go to a meeting? None of that crap is good. Guys, quit challenging your people to do things. Give them positive things and allow the successful to become successful and allow the others to leave. Stop trying to keep everybody. Okay? Some people just got to move on for them and for you. For an organization to be healthy, you got to have it, people coming in and people going out of it. That's just the way it works in this particular category, right? The idea is to get more people coming in than going out, though. However, you got to remember that, okay? That is to have a wider, like a pond of water, right? You got to have a larger stream of water coming in than the trickle that's going out. That's the idea. You do that through all the things we do for retention, right? To keep people here. Great products, great compensation plan, great leadership, positive message, day one, stay the course, all those things that I've always talked about. And so you call 5 people. Then what do you have those people do? Relay the message to 5 people. Then what do those people do? They relay the positive day one message to 5 people. You understand how that can work? You see, if everybody does this effectively in a perfect world, everybody every single day in your organization is going to have a positive day one start to the day. And remember, you don't succeed by the week or the month. You succeed by the day. Each day determines how the next day is going to go. Because people that go out of the business, okay, have a tendency to not have a few day ones in a row to where they finally forget what it felt like to even have a good day one. And pretty soon they forget why they're even doing the business. And pretty soon, all of a sudden, they get stolen from some other Amway deal or something else that looks really good selling soap or something, right? That's what happens. If you stay focused and energized, inviting someone every single day, doing income producing activity, relating a very positive experience to other people, to your 5, and then making sure those people do their 5, and they do their 5, and they do their 5. All of a sudden, the dynamic of your organization completely changes. All of a sudden, you go from a bunch of deadheads, the same people in a meeting every single week, which is a death sentence, by the way, to all of a sudden an energetic, new, fantastic, excited, powerful organization exploding in the business. That's what happens when you do that. They ask me when I'm consulting for years, how do you double the size of our company? How do we double the volume of our company? What kind of would a car program work? Or maybe we enhance some big bonuses. We have a infinity bonus is what they always like to use that would be on top of the regular compensation. I said, no, you get all the people at the very bottom just to do twice what they normally would do. So every system you have, everything you do should be designed for that brand new person to do just a little bit more. They do just a little bit more. And overall, so you got to understand there's always more people on the bottom than on the top, right? So you spend your time, the volume is created from the bottom up. Remember that, not from the top down. And so most people spend their time with themselves and 3 of their key leaders, 4 or 5 of their key leaders, right? You need to be making sure that you're getting to the bottom of that organization, to the depths of that organization. And those people have a healthy environment, a healthy day one every single day to produce. If you do that, your volume goes like this. If it doesn't, then you have a slow, steady growth. Okay? Slow, steady growth. I love that term, slow, steady growth. You know, Brooks, slow, steady growth to me. I mean, I remember hearing Art Williams talk about that, man. He was pretty violent about it. He was like all over that, just like, slow, steady. Yeah, slow, steady growth right in the toilet. That's what it is. So when you ask somebody how you're doing, they say, oh, we got good, steady growth. You already know that they're failing, right? And people that are succeeding, you know what happens when you ask them how they're doing? They say, well, man, we're exploding. Things are unbelievable. You can't believe this, and you can't believe this, and you can't believe that. See, that's what organizations that are working, that's how they talk. That's how they communicate. So when I talk to people all over the world, and I say, and I'll give them a positive message, I say, how you doing? What can I do to help? And they're saying, oh, we're okay. When they say, well, we're okay. I think we're going to do better than last month. I'm like, look, we got to do some changes really fast because you are on your way out of business. All right. Because you're either exploding or dying. Remember that. You're not slowly growing. It doesn't work in network marketing. That can work maybe in brick and mortar businesses where everything is honed down to a spreadsheet. I have those businesses. Okay. And I get that. Not in network marketing. You're talking about people out there, by and large, working and operating every day on the emotional side of their brain. If that emotional side of their brain doesn't feel something just explosive, they're not going to do the hard things to succeed, and they will leave you. So the first thing is retention. That's where all of our money is in retention. All of our money is in how many people we get to love the product, become addicted to it, love the opportunity, love Kuvera, that will never quit. We'll be here forever. We'll pay their auto ships forever, right? We'll always believe that that money spent on those services is benefiting them in some way. That's what has to happen. It's never going to happen, guys, if you don't become a product of the product. And I can tell you right now, on this phone, on this call here today, there's some of you who don't have the product or not experiencing the product to the degree that you should. See, the product has always been the key for me. You can't, let's talk about, a juice or a nutritional product, something. You got to have some kind of results. Otherwise, you can't tell your brothers and sisters and mom and dad and kids, hey, you got to give up this much money a month and buy this stuff just because I want to make some money. Good people have a really hard time with that. What you got to do is get them hooked on it because they can't live without it. And see, the thing that people cannot live without in this world, guys, is money. We're in the money business. We're not in the makeup business. We're not in the nutrition business. We're not in the juice business. People cannot get what we have anywhere else in the world. Not the things we have, the automated services, the tons of, we have 14 Forex channels, for crying out loud. We've got some guys out there just absolutely killing it. We've got equity channels. We've got crypto channels. We've got all these things going on. And now with crypto coming back up, man, it looks like the crypto mining is going to come back on. We got Apex. We've got, financial education, guys. Look, if you started with Kuvera today, forget about everything that's happened. Look, here's the message. The message is really simple with me, okay? Nothing sticks to me. Nothing. No negative, no bad, no product not working the way I thought it was. Nothing sticks to me. Okay, what I do is I'm always moving forward. I always solve the problem. I get to the next deal. I get to the next deal. Guys, if I was not like that, we would not be in business right now. You know that, right? But I have led the charge because I know where we're going, okay? I also understand business. And business is about mostly failing on the way to winning. You got to remember that. Business is about mostly having setbacks on the way to getting to where you want to go. Most people think if you have setbacks in business, the business isn't working or the business is not for them. That's what losers say, okay? Winners understand, successful business understand that the more issues you have, the greater opportunity lays for you out there. That's the way it works. And so I've never doubted where we're going or what we're doing. Is it hard to go through the challenges and the trials? Hell yeah, it is. Of course it is. But believe me, that's nothing when you compare to open up a ski resort. You think you're going to have 10 or 15 government permits. 4 years later, and millions of dollars of fighting in court, you have over 230 permits that have been required to be able to just build a ski resort. Guys, that's what hard is, okay? That's what hard is. There's nothing hard about network marketing. The only thing hard about network marketing is you. You're your own enemy. You're the only enemy you have because you have complete control every single day for exactly what you want to do. Now, you guys know I'm not talking to most of you on here. Most of you are winning. Most of you are doing all the great things that I talk about here. But this is one of my my head coach mentoring sessions, as they call it out there, where, I tell you the way it is because I want you to be here 3 to 5 years from now. I remember I was in Cancun with a French group at a retreat here a few months ago. And I asked that question. Excuse me. I said, how many of you are going to be here 5 years from now? Every hand in that room went up. Well, if you guys been in this business to any degree of time, you know that's not true. You know it's not true. So, but everybody in that room believed at that moment that they were going to be here 5 years from now. So as a leader, motivation doesn't pay the checks, doesn't pay the bills. Okay? Action pays the bills. So when somebody says that, you say, fantastic, we'll see you 5 years from now. Guys, that's weak leadership, okay? What somebody says when is, I'm going to be here 5 years from now, you're going to say, no, you're not. Let me tell you why. And if you're able to overcome this, then you can raise your hand. You'll know for sure. Daily income producing activities, all the things I talk about, right? People need to know ahead of time, guys, what it takes to succeed, but also the things that they have to prevent from doing to keep from failing. We put a lot of pressure on people to attend events sometimes. And sometimes that's for ourselves just to get the numbers. I deal with this all over the world, right? Everybody, we have people at these like ANMPs that their uplines will buy them 100 tickets free just to get people in the room so they say got a lot of people there. Guys, that doesn't pay the bills. That's not success. Success is when people that want to win attend because they want to be there. Not because they felt forced to be there or compulsory to be there. Nothing like that. But that they want to be there. And I love this UK team, and I'm excited to see all you guys because I know that you're all there for the right reasons. But you need to get the message out to those people who may not understand the same things that we understand on this call today of the importance of being at an event like this, right? Guys, I'm going to spill the beans at this event when I get there. I'm going to throw gems out there you haven't heard yet. I've been learning, and I've been holding back on a lot of the stuff that I can mentor and train on for just the right times, and I've got it for you this time. It's going to be really special, and I'm excited about it. But we're going to literally, those people that are in that room, I'm going to tell them exactly what they got to do to be rich. And I know exactly how to do that because I did that myself, and I've taught hundreds of people. I have over a dozen people that I've started with from the beginning, just like I did Anthony Napolitano, that are now master distributors with big companies in the network marketing industry. It's not like I don't know what I'm talking about. It's whether or not people will hear it. And so what I want to do on the 30th is I want to be able to have the time together that we need to not just say, yeah, we're going to be there, be all excited, be motivated, have a great event, wear Simon made me wear a bow tie last time. We don't even do that in America anymore. When we come to the UK, you guys are so proper. I put on the little penguin suit and all my friends at home were laughing at me, but Rick, you must love English people. I said, yeah, man, I just felt pretty good to just put a bow tie on and go out there and feed myself. We played casino crap. I mean, that was so dang fun. And I did my first Facebook Live there. Remember, Brooks? I mean, Roger, I did my first Facebook Live there, and that thing, people went crazy over that thing. But we're going to have a good time. See, there's fun in success, and there's misery in failure. And so those of us that get together that have a successful mindset, that have a legacy mindset, that know where we're going and are taking action every single day to make sure that absolutely happens. See, there's nobody excluded from this, guys. If I stopped doing what I do every day, the same thing would hold true of me. Pretty soon I'd forget why I came here. Pretty soon I would lose the respect of the field. Pretty soon I would decide, well, you know what? I'm just going to try something else. I think I'm just going to go home and have a big garden or something, you know? I mean, that would happen to me as well. So it's not only for the new people. It's for every single one of us, right? Every single one of us are at a different plane mentally. Every single one of us are using a different percentage of our logical brain as opposed to the emotional brain. All of us are different, but all of us need to know that it's the same exact things that we all need to do in order to get to the same place that we all want to get. Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple stuff. Guys, this is a simple business. It's mathematics. 2 + 2 is always 4 logically. Emotional, 2 + 2 can be 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, depending on how you're feeling for the day. The logical side of the brain says 2 + 2 is 4. So here's what it is. If somebody opens their mouth and they're only going to, remember, let's bring this back. Day one, people are only going to open their mouth and go out and do the hard thing, which is introduce the program to a new person if they have a positive day one experience. You know that, right? If they're not feeling good, they're not going to talk about anybody. If you beat up on them for it, they're going to be even worse off, okay? You don't lead with a whip, you lead with a carrot if you want a long-term, strong organization. And I know that you guys do. So anyway, I'm on one of those moods today, but sometimes you guys catch me at the right time. You know, I've got to drive for 4 hours and I'm headed out, flying out tomorrow to, you know, Paris and Switzerland and you guys in Portugal and having all that kind of fun away from home for 2.5 weeks. It's not easy doing what I do. Let me tell you, it's not easy being gone all the time, guys. I'm the only guy in the company who doesn't go home to his family every night, pretty much. You know that, right? Now, look, nobody would do what I do for money. There has to be a much higher purpose. It has to be ingrained in who you are. It has to be a heart that you want to share with the world. That's what it has to be to do what I do. It's just, you don't do this for 5 years at my state in life financially if you're not truly committed to what it is. And yet we find some people that are so hard they can't even commit to themselves to stay for a week in the program or 2 weeks or a month. Guys, we're all developed at different stages in life, right? But we all are the same people. No matter where I go in the world, everybody's the same. Isn't that something? See, before I really traveled international, I just watched on tele. I thought everybody was different than I was. I thought Americans were completely different. Well, we are different. Of course, Americans are oddballs, but people are the same. People want the same things everywhere in the world, no matter where I go. It's the same thing. They look at me the same way. They ask the same questions. They have the same dreams. They have the same problems, right? They have the same successes. That's how it is everywhere you go. And so even though each one of us on this call are at a different level of development in our life, say business development, emotional development, we still want the same things, or we wouldn't be on this Zoom tonight, right? We wouldn't be here. So my job is important. It's really important. When I go around the world and I stand up in front of people and I open up my mouth, because of the way that you guys edify me and promote me, when I open up my mouth, people are leaning to hear and waiting to hear what I have to say because they believe that I can change their lives. And so when I stand up in front of people, guys, it's so important for me to be right. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's so important that I'm right because I could mislead thousands and thousands of people to where it would hurt them. And that's not why I'm here. I'm here to help. That's the only reason I'm here is to help. Especially at this stage of it. But the funny thing about it, Roger, is that now I think I'm needed now more than I have been ever in the company because we are in a transition right now where we're doing this, where we're transitioning from a small business to a big business. And that's something that I have some experience with. And so I feel like, having me on calls like this and that kind of stuff, that I want to be right. I want to make sure I've got the right message for you guys. I know that you have great leadership there, and Simon Brooks and other leaders. You have great leadership there. But, I'm always going to add just a little bit different twist, right? Rick Rowberry is always going to have just a little bit twist. Look, I had the best mentor in the world for a decade. And this man turned me into whoever I am today. And because of the results that surround me when I do something, I think that was probably pretty good mentoring that I got. And so what I try to do is I try to expand that circle so that there's more proxies of this man, more proxies of the things that I've learned, so that we can go out there and have big time success together. Because you see, there's nothing better than having enough money that you don't have to think about money. See, funny thing about it, everybody thinks that people with money are always thinking about money. No, they don't. They never think about money. You know who thinks about money? The people who do not have it. Every day they think about money. The people who have money don't think about it. I never think about money. I'm always thinking about, what am I going to do today? Where do I need to be? What do I need to do? What makes me happy, right? And so get that out of the way. You need to get past this first step, okay, which is getting the kind of money coming in for you that takes care of your bills and supports you, right? And then teach others to do the same, and pretty soon you're making 3 and 4 or 5 times that much. Remember, you only advance by duplicating yourself. So when you're talking to somebody, if it's your leader, if it's somebody that you feel like could replace, why do you think I've spent 3.5 years working with Anthony Napolitano every day? Here was a young guy, started with at 19 years old, was afraid to speak his name, couldn't get on stage without his knees shaking. And now he talks at an A&MP event. And at the beginning of the event, when they introduced me, he gives credit back to his mentor on this. And he said, the guy says, as Anthony Napolitano says, Rick Rowberry says, winners do what winners do. That for me, that was all the payment that I needed through that period of time. The fact that this guy gets it. He got it. And when he got on stage, he killed it. He was the best guy there. At 24 years old, he just bought a $200,000 car. He just told me he just bought his first home. He's had condos and things he leased out, but he's got his own home to just finish and build it. He's 24 years old. Nice big home. He's accomplishing those dreams. And you know why? Because he was hungry and he's been humble. Those two things. So as mentors, as teachers, as trainers, as leaders, guys, we have a huge responsibility to be right in all of the categories that I've just spoken of. And if we do that effectively, we're going to have a really, really strong organization around us. And throughout the world, wherever you have people that know you and have had the opportunity to work with you, you're going to have respect. And respect is what it's about. So you don't get respect by pushing people or whipping people or beating up on people or being opposite or asking other people to do the hard things because you don't have to do that. You get respect by outworking everyone, doing the things that you want them to do. That's how you get the respect. If you do, that's really simple. You get the respect. Guess what? You make a phone call like I did. I did 3 phone calls. 2,000 people came in less than 2 months. 3 phone calls. See, that's what happens. When you do the right things for people and you're right and you're honest in what you do, you have a following. When you have that following, those people are friends for life. You have relationships for life. It's not something that's just a one company thing, right? Many of us have been in more than one company. I've never, though, pulled one. I haven't had a company really go out of business on me except one. And so when I left a company, I wanted to leave them intact. So each company I've started with a new group of people each time, right? But see, once you learn how to do it, once it's not an experiment for you anymore, right? You can do it again and again and again. And you know what? Brooks, you've been around this thing for a long time with me too. You can shake your head if you agree with me on this. But you know what? Real winners in the network marketing industry, okay? We have all kinds of people that will get out there and they're making huge money with one company. Take that company out from underneath them, and 90% of those people are paralyzed to ever do it again. Let me tell you what the great winners in network marketing do. Take it away. They do it again and again and again and again. You know why? Because they know how to do it, and it's not an experiment for them anymore. They didn't get lucky. The people underneath them didn't do all the work. They were at the core of why success was happening. And there's a handful, 10% of the network leaders out there that have that. Okay, and I've always striven to be that kind of person where, no matter what you take away from me, we can get it back. And so I want to teach these things. And as I go out there and when I give you just a little prelude of the things I want to cover when I'm there with you guys on the 30th. But I can tell you that this will be the strongest event that you guys have had from my side of it, okay? From my side of it. I know you guys do incredible things, but the message that I have to deliver this time is going to be the most important by 3 to 5 times of anything that I've delivered to you guys. And so I'm really excited to get there. And I would just say to anybody who's anybody, that they should be there. Let me give you another warning too, guys. People ask me one question more than any other question as I travel the world, right? They ask me, Rick, how do you make people successful? I love that question because it's such a simple answer. The answer is you don't. You find successful people and you make them greater. That's pretty simple, isn't it? That's pretty simple stuff. I mean, I don't care what level you're at in network marketing. That's a message you need to understand, right? Is that you don't make people successful. You don't make people produce. Producers just produce. Producers chase you to find out how to produce more. Producers just show up at the meetings. You don't have to try to force them into doing a bunch of stuff. Let me tell you what happens. Let's say you think you got 300 people in your local organization, right? Well, just have an event like this. Just make sure they all know about it. Never say a word to any of them about promoting it. You find out who shows up, and that's how big your organization really is. That's who's here with you 3 to 5 years from now. That's a scary thought, I know. But it's true, guys. That's why we never stop recruiting on the front end, because sometimes we fool ourselves into thinking we have more than we do. And that causes us to go into management mode, to set back on our tail end and not do the hard things any longer. So what I'd love to do is I want to see the UK leading in Europe, right? And there's no reason why you shouldn't. You have the talent, you have the experience, you've got the support from me and others as much as any other country in the world. And so as you guys are starting to explode and grow, and the things that you're doing right now, you guys are really on fire. And that's what makes it really exciting for me, because if I can come in at the time when you're at this stage right here, because we do this in business, right? Right now, this is the stage you're at. I mean, the truth is that, sometimes just one little tiny thing that somebody's going to hear that will completely change their life. I hear this all the time. There was this one moment where I met with this one guy, or I went to this one event that changed my life forever. Well, if you want to change your life forever, I go to every big event I could find. The odds are in your favor that you're going to find that big event, that something's going to click with you that changes your daily activities. Because it doesn't change the way you think as much as it changes the way your actions change, because it's an action-based business. Okay, again, wrap up, and I'm going to end it right here. I got to actually get on the road, and I've gone longer than I wanted to. Hungry. You got to be hungry for more, and you got to be humble. It's all about action over time. Understand that time is the magic in that statement. Okay? Daily, consistent income-producing activity will produce a lifetime of residual income that will support you forever. I found that I've been getting residual income that totally supported me since 1993. Okay? I've experienced it firsthand. I've made more money in residual income than I made when I worked there. So the system does work. If we're not look, guys, if we're not trying to create a residual income, go do something different. This is too hard if you're just trying to sell stuff. Okay? Go sell cars, go sell houses, go do something different. You're going to sell something, go sell something. You are a builder. And now I was going to end with that, I'm going to end with this one. You need to be a builder, not a recruiter. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. The number one personal recruiter in any company is never at the top ranks. Why is that? I recruited 22 people in 5 years. That's it. Only 3 of them are still here. Isn't that amazing? I think Anthony and some of these younger guys recruit 600, 700, 800 people. Some of the guys have recruited 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 people through social media and other things. And they're like at platinum, Anthony's one of the very few that has that high numbers on personal recruits that's really up where he is on his rank. You see, it's because not only is he a great recruiter, but he's a great builder as well. I spent a lot of time with him and other people teaching them about building concepts, not as much as recruiting concepts. See, it's much easier to recruit somebody than it is to build a business with them. So that's the easier thing to do. You recruit somebody, get them to sign, all of a sudden, man, I made it. I got my recruit. You haven't got anything. You haven't got anything until that person has their 3, and they got their 3, and they got their 3, and they got their 3, and you've rank advanced, you see. So it's about building. What you do is you drive the lines. See, what I'm really good at doing is that, and my early mentor taught me this. He built the biggest financial service company in the world with 7 people. 7. And he taught me the concept of driving the lines. You don't have to have massive numbers. You just got to have some numbers. You got to have somebody to work with. And what you do is even if that person at the very top there, even if that person isn't the person that is with you a year, 2 years from now, if you're effective at right now driving that line, you go to who he knows, that she knows, that he knows, that she knows, that he knows. Boom, there's Simon Brooks. Then you go that he knows, that she knows, and she knows. Boom, there's Anthony Napolitano. You see how that works? You go down until you find that key person that solidifies that leg. In the business, we call that an anchor in that leg, right? Somebody, all you need, because we're volume based, 3 people anywhere in each of those legs, and you're rich. Anywhere, just 3. That's it. 3 people decide they're going to stay the course, build, and stay with the company and do well. So you guys got me on. You got me on one today. Okay, I mean, I love you guys. You know that. You know that. You guys probably know me as well as anybody, and I appreciate you having me on a call, because sometimes, you know, you hear a lot of the same things over and over and over again. It's really funny, but I'll be around groups that I've been with for a while, been with me for like 3 years or something, and I'll say stuff, and I see this look in their eyes like, man, I've heard all that before. It's like a parents telling their kids, you know, to pick up their clothes off the floor, right? Is here over and over and over and over again. It's really exciting when you go into a new area and you give them the message for the first time. It kind of restores the confidence that you really have something big you're talking about. So I was hoping today that I would be able to give you guys a message that might make a difference tonight for you, that might make you maybe rethink a couple of things, and might make you, achieve the success at the levels that you guys really want to have. But let's promote this thing on the 30th, guys. I'm not saying don't promote a meeting. I'm saying what you need to do is make sure that you're pushing this meeting as something that could be life-changing for people. And those people that want to change their lives will be there. It's pretty simple, right? All right, I'm done. Thanks.
Rick, thank you very, very much. Really, really appreciate it. Guys, if you've ever seen Rick Rowberry speak personally, then you will know it's worth its weight in gold. When I very, very first looked at Kuvera, when I flew over to Utah in Salt Lake City, we was there with a few leaders and everything else. And then Rick all of a sudden breezed in, said, oh, I just drove 7 hours, just popped my head in because I heard there was a few leaders here. That's the type of guy this guy is. And the content and what he delivered ticked the box and made us all join. If I'm going to give you a word of warning, if you are going to be attending the event, make sure you invite prospects to actually attend. And do not forget, prospects are free. Now, don't forget, if you are going to be coming to the event and you want to make it a whole event, you want to spend a whole weekend with this guy, then be there on Saturday. Enjoy the facilities at the hotel. They've got a phenomenal swimming pool, leisure complex, and everything else. We have a discounted meal on the evening in the hotel, a 2-course for only £15 per person. Bed and breakfast in the 4-star luxury hotel is only £60 for 2 people. Now, I know there's a couple of people on this Zoom now who are going to be sharing. Well, that means it's only £15 each. Folks, add your accommodation, your food, and everything else, and even your ticket price. This will be the cheapest and most prestigious event you can attend. The quality of the content that you are going to receive, you have got to be crazy not to be there. So if you are anywhere, and I know we got people on the Zoom in India, in Denmark, all over Europe, all over the world. You need, if you're in flying distance, driving distance, whatever distance, walking distance, be there. You need to seriously be there because it's that important. Now, I know we got people that are in India and you know they do Zooms. I think they had 130 on their Zoom today. India, 130 people. You know, these guys are the professional inviters. You want to be skilled at this business, exactly what Rick said. Invite, 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 and invite. That's all you got to do. Just show the message. Invite and show the message. We've got the system put together where we show the message. All you've got to do is invite people to look at the message. Now, on the 30th, we will be doing, Simon Kendrick will be doing an awesome business opportunity. Get your prospects in front of that event. Get your prospects in front of that presentation. Because you know, last event, we had several people join on the day at the end. Well, folks, this will be no different. When they hear the content, what's going to be coming out, what Rick Rowberry is going to be saying, the excitement they're going to be seeing, they will want to join. Now, if you have 1, 2, or 3 prospects there, phenomenal. You got a 1, 2, or 3 chance of somebody joining your business. If you haven't got anyone there and you think, oh, I've enjoyed the process, then you are a professional meeting attender. There's 0 money in that, guys. 0. That is not an actual income producing activity. An income producing activity is invite, 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 and then invite. Tomorrow evening, we have our Zoom presentation that you need to be inviting a stack of people. Because tomorrow, when people see this presentation and you know that your fortune is in your follow-up, you follow them up, get them, if they're in the UK, get them along to the event on Sunday week, in actual fact, it's the 30th. So we are going to be at the event that's going to be Sunday week in the UK. You need to make sure you're going to be there. Guys, my time's up. Thanks for yours. But Roger, over to you, mate.
Thanks a lot, Simon, and thank you, Rick, as well. I always love listening to these calls with Rick because, Rick, you think you don't give us anything new, and every time you do give us something new. So I appreciate it because more than anything else, you keep it real more than most of the other guys that we hear. We hear guys that sort of preach stuff that sounds like it comes from textbooks, and I know that when it comes from you, it comes from the heart, and it comes across that way. So we really do appreciate that. Guys, you've heard from Rick, you've heard from Simon Brooks. There's no point me repeating the message other than to say tomorrow night's hugely important. The name of the game is inviting people for one simple objective. We want to save you paying $2,400 a month in subscription a year in subscription fees. Invite 3 people, you don't have to pay your subscription. If you reinvest that $2,400, I've gone through the numbers with you a number of times before and shown how that can turn into an income that you can retire on in 3 to 5 years. That's why Rick said 3 to 5 years. That's what this is. This is not a short-term deal. This is work hard for a few years. And when I say work hard, this ain't like digging ditches work hard, but put some effort in for 3 to 5 years and you can change your life. The first step to changing your life as far as that's concerned is get some people on the call tomorrow night. You do not have to be a salesman. Let me do the salesman bit. I'll do the presentation. I'll do the selling for you. You just get people on the call. We'll see you tomorrow night. My time's up. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye, everybody.